Hey guys, you're probably looking for a new marketing agency coming into the next year. It's very common. Maybe you weren't happy with the results that you got this year, or maybe this is the year that you decide that you're ready to take that next step into your business growth. Oftentimes, the first spot we start to look is, let's get a marketing and advertising agency involved to help take us to that next level. And in this video, we're going to break down how to actually interview the marketing agency, what questions to ask, what you can expect out of a marketing and advertising agency, so that way when you go to hire them, you know with 100% confidence that this agency is perfect for you and that you're not just going to continue to waste money over and over and over again until you find the right one. And that's where a marketing agency can really help, is they have the resources and they have the expertise and they know what colors go well together. They know how to structure all these things to get the best results. And while I believe every business owner should learn marketing, they should learn how to use copywriting to their advantage, because it literally is like magic. Being able to type words and print customers on the back side doesn't mean that that's where all your time should be devoted, because you're running a company. A lot of business owners are like, man, I got to pay an agency, then I got to pay ad spend, then I got to do all this. Yeah, but if you were to go out and hire like a professional media buyer just for your company, that's 80 grand right there. Then you have to go out and hire somebody to do creative. That's another 45 to 50 grand a year. Like, would you financially be better off just to pay the ad agency $3,500 or $4,000 a month plus ad spend? Yeah, because you're still going to have to pay the ad spend on your side too. And if you don't like them, they're just a contractor that you can get rid of. Instead of an employee with benefits, time off, all the headache that comes with having employees, like, it's just better to find an agency that you like and trust and can work well with and that you believe can get you from point A to point B. And most good agencies will tell you, here's our sweet spot of working with customers. Like for us, we work with them up until about 40 or 50 million a year in revenue. And then after that, we actually train their own teams on how to do that, because at that point financially, it's better for them to have their own team. Well, the other problem with that is that money loves speed, and agencies can typically work through problems a lot faster than you can as the business owner, because they've seen all the problems. They already know how to move through them. What might take us 20 minutes to move through as a problem might take you 4 hours, and money loves speed on that.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Like, they don't want to pay the money up front because they don't see the trust part, right? They don't see the future of it paying back to them. So how do I find the trust within said agency or whatever it is? What do you feel like are the things that define like a good agency for a business owner to be looking for?
There are a lot of really good questions to ask an agency before you hire them. Most people will reflexively go to, let me see your case studies. And I actually think that's the last thing you should look at. I think the first thing you need to be asking them are greedy questions about yourself. So, do I get to own all of my data? Will you do all this work under my account or yours? Because that makes a big difference. Because if I depart from an agency, but they own all my data, I just paid them to build up their data and not my own. So that's one of the ones that I ask. The other one is, what is your process of communication? Do you use Slack? What's my expected return on a message time? If something breaks over the weekend, who's responsible for it? It's just a lot of those basic questions that can really tell you a lot about how that agency is run. Do I have a point of contact if something goes wrong, and will they answer the phone? Or am I going to be stuck talking to an AI bot over the weekend trying to get a problem solved before I finally get to somebody? What does my analytics and reporting look like? How do I know that I can actually trust the data that you're showing me? And Google and Facebook lie about data. So how are you guys verifying that the data that's actually working is working? Because while I may see as the marketer, hey, $100,000 hit your Shopify account over the weekend, but you're only showing, 40 or 50,000 actually went to the bank. Well, what happened? Another one is, how often are you actually touching my account, and how can I verify that? I was asked on a podcast episode a few months ago how AI is actually going to transform the marketing and ad agency world. And the answer I gave at the time is not necessarily the answer I want to be known for, because I said it's going to really impact us, and it's probably going to cripple this agency model long term. And I was wrong with that answer. The right answer is, it's going to completely collapse the middle ground. The low-level marketers that'll charge you, $400 or $500 a month, they'll still be around because there's cheap people in the world that want cheap results, and you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. type of thing, right? The middle level is where AI is really going to crush people. So the people that are charging $1,500 to, $2 or $3 grand a month, those are the ones that are going to get collapsed because they don't know how to leverage strategic thinking and they really don't integrate themselves well into your business. The higher level agencies, the ones that charge, $5 to $500,000 a month, those are the ones that will be fine without it because they understand how all these pieces work together. The future of how I see AI is that it's not ever going to be able to creatively innovate. It's always going to pull from existing data and things that have already been done. That's the difference. So as we're starting to look at, how often is my account touched and where are we actually looking for growth, the companies that are leveraging AI for that, which are typically your middle level marketing agencies, those are the ones that are going to go out of business the fastest. So as you look at hiring an agency, even ask them, what are you guys using AI for? And the only answer that I would take as acceptable is we're looking at it for data and we're looking at it for trends that we don't really see yet, because that's what it's good at. It's good at taking large sums of data and analyzing it and then compiling a result for it, which is great because it's amazing to look at trends and it's amazing to see things that you don't necessarily see. But ultimately, that's not innovative or creative thinking. It's data analytic thinking. And there's a clear difference of how you should be using those inside of your marketing and advertising strategies. Analytics are all retrospective. It's everything that's happened in the past. Can it forecast a little bit? Sure. But that's ultimately not what we're looking for out of marketing. We're looking for innovative and new ideas.
Right. Which I think, this is super relevant at the moment, but like Florida going through the whole thing with the storm coming through, right? So there are projections for what was going to happen with the storm based off of data, and things are changing constantly, but people are still a part of the process because we are still having to creatively understand how to solve certain problems when it comes to the storm coming through and the actions that need to be taken. It's just helping us make better decisions when we take action.
Yeah. But you still need somebody that knows how to take the action and know what actions not to take either. Because AI is not going to tell you don't take this action, right? Like and for the people that have experience, they know not to step on certain landmines because they've done it and it's cost them or their customers financially or operationally or, future growth. It's cost them dearly. So you know which landmines to step or what spots to step on the game board and which ones are, packed with dangerous items.
Right. Okay. So the way that we find a good marketing agency, or the way to kind of sift through and filter when a company is looking for a good marketing agency, the key is asking them the right questions in order to see and filter whether they're good or not. You're essentially interviewing them.
Notice how none of the questions were around expected return. Because by FTC, I can't say. And ethically, you can't really say either. Like, even though we were able to run this campaign for this bass fishing company, their results are years in the making. You can't come to me with, 20 grand and say, hey, I want to instantly turn this into $1 million. Because if I could do that for you, why wouldn't I just do it for me? And you got to let your campaigns breathe. Most people don't want to give things because Meta is so fast at being able to put a campaign or put an ad out into their ecosphere. Google is lightning fast too. TikTok is lightning fast, which reflexively you think, wow, I've only got a short little bit of time to capitalize. But you look at some of the biggest and best campaigns of marketing and branding and advertising that have ever existed, and they're still rememberable 30, 40, 50, 100 years later. De Beers, a diamond is a girl's best friend. Nike's, Just Do It. The campaign of Just Do It is over 40 years old. De Beers, a diamond is a girl's best friend is almost 100 years old. Good campaigns last, but you got to let them breathe. It's like a good bottle of red wine. Before you enjoy it, you really got to do a lot of uncorking to get to that end spot, and then you got to let the wine breathe.